5 things most people don't understand about buying real estate in New Jersey. Hey, if this is your first visit to the channel and you're looking to learn all about the New Jersey suburbs of New York City, then please consider joining our Subs of NYC community. We'd love to have you. Hey, I'm Jeff Massey, your local realtor here in the North Jersey area. And if you're looking to move in the next 7 days or 7 months, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email so we can help you make an easy, stress-free purchase or even sale in the New York City and New Jersey area. All right, so let's dive into this question. Now, I don't mean to be offensive to anyone. It might come off that way, and I apologize if my tone comes off the wrong way, but please don't be like other people, or please don't be like people and think XYZ. I'm going to go through the 5 things right here and talk about what we need to avoid as buyers so that we can get into the right mentality and execute on what we need to do. And let me peel back one layer of the onion a little bit. Underlying all of these questions should be your why. What is your true motivation? What is your true reason to move? If we break that down into the word etymology there. And that's what you need to be thinking about as you're reviewing all of these points that I'm going to be talking about. Because the reason why you're doing something, the why, is going to be extremely critical in terms of how you're progressing on your real estate journey. So number 1, please don't be like most people and wait until the last second to get your pre-approval. This is something I talk about with all of the buyer consultations. One of the first things we discuss is getting the pre-approval. You can either work with somebody that I've worked with before or work with somebody that you've worked with before and get that pre-approval done very quickly. And our last point, make sure you stay around to the end, is going to tie back into that pre-approval and why that's so important. So I want to make sure we get that number so we can plan properly. Proper planning prevents poor performance. And then we can get into what actually we're going to be looking at, right? Because if we wait until the last second, we might see a home we love. Yeah, in theory, maybe we can afford it, maybe we can't, but we need to be kind of really off to the races to make sure we get that pre-approval and get an offer in. So you want to get that done ahead of time. Please don't be like most people and limit yourself to one town. And by focusing on that one town, you're really eliminating a lot of options that could work well for you. And in this low inventory environment, it really is, unless you have a extreme budget that you can afford to outbid people on just to stay in a particular location, you do need to have the flexibility of looking in a couple different towns. And if you haven't discovered any of the towns, please check out the rest of the channel. We've got lots of town tours, a couple map tours. I hope to be adding some of those more soon. We've got home tours in different locations so you can get an idea of what you can afford in those towns. But I'd like you to explore that. So again, you can pick a town and say, all right, that would be my ideal place to be. But keep in mind, you want to have a little bit more of an outer boundary that you can look at in case you're not finding things in your target. So that comes to my next point, number 3. Please don't be like most people and think that you're going to get everything you want in your first purchase or even in your current purchase. Because in this low inventory environment, let's face it, your dream home probably does not exist. You know, it doesn't have the right amount of bedrooms and the right amount of bathrooms in the right places with the perfect yard, on the less busy road, in the budget that you're looking for, right? That's a tricky one. If you fit all those things in, does it actually exist? So you want to be able to prioritize what's most important to you. Is it bedroom count? Is it large living room? Is it bathroom count? Is it 2-car garage? You know, what is that priority? Going back to your why, going back to what you need, not what you want, and thinking about how you can make priorities and then figure out, okay, what's on the bottom of that list that we can do without? And maybe sometimes we have to go 2 and 3 up the list just to find something that we can afford to purchase and achieves our goal. So that brings me into point number 4. Please don't be like most people and think that your budget is just the price of the home. It's not. Budget, really, going back to point number 1 when we're talking about pre-approval, budget looks at what your monthly allowable spend would be. Now, there's 2 types of that. There's the bank, what they're going to approve you for, and then there's what your personal spending limit is that you're going to follow in order to achieve your financial goals. Now, that might be saving for your kids' college, saving extra so you could buy a boat in 10 years, whatever it is, saving for your retirement, or maybe all of those things, and you just need to compartmentalize and save for each of those. So what the bank approves you for in the maximum, that's great. if you want to go there, you have to consider that for yourself. But then you also have to have your personal goals. And so what I mean by that is we're looking at monthly payment versus total purchase price. And the reason why that is yes, there is a price to the house, but keep in mind there's also property taxes on that house. There's also potentially HOA fees on that house. Or even if there isn't HOA fees, there's still monthly maintenance dealing with landscaping and small home repairs and that kind of thing. So you want to keep a budget that's a monthly budget in mind that works into your overall annual income. And again, that's why the bank, when they do their pre-approval, they're looking at debt to income ratio so they can figure out the most of money that you can comfortably afford. Now, they look at the gross, so they're not even looking at taxes. So when you look at these things, definitely keep in mind that personal financial budget and how that plays into the price of the home. Now, the other thing I didn't mention is obviously your down payment. Your savings definitely has a big contribution to what you can afford to purchase because you're going to be making a down payment, and not everyone has maybe, $1 million in the bank to put down. So keep those things in mind. Again, don't focus necessarily on the price. Let's look at the monthly budget and let's look at all the things combined, property taxes, principal, and interest on the mortgage, and see how that works to your benefit and where you want to extend that. Because the other thing is, a lot of times people, they say, oh, well, I'm a pre-approved for this, but then in their mind, they're only wanting to spend X, but really the budget that matches the pre-approval is actually Y. It's much higher. So we need to make sure those things are all in line, they're all correlated, and we're dialed in to focus on the homes that will match your needs. All right, and maybe the most important, number 5, please don't be like most people and assume or believe that you're going to wait for interest rates to come down to save you money. This is not going to be the case. Now, I don't have a crystal ball, but here's what I can tell you, and I've shown you this in the past videos when we look at the data. When we look at inventory keeps at a very low pace for the last couple of years. Now, a lot of people are speculating that's because of the mortgage rates, but the truth is, systemically, we haven't been building enough homes to keep up with population growth. And I think the National Association of Realtors just put out a new article saying that it's about 6 million homes that we're behind on. I'll put I'll put it down below in the captions here, what that number is. But we're severely behind. And what that means is, as interest rates come down, interest rates being a proxy for demand, we know a lot of people are pent up on the sidelines that want to get into the market. Those people that have been pent up, they're going to be surging in as interest rates go down, but inventory isn't going to surge up and match it so that we see some sort of an equilibrium in price. The truth is, prices are going to continue to appreciate. And again, I say the truth is, this is my opinion. You don't have to take it as fact, but I think the principles behind it, the fundamentals behind this idea are pretty solid. So what I'm saying is, rates, okay, they come down, but prices are going to continue to appreciate between now and whenever that is. And when it happens, you're going to see even more bidding wars, even more higher sale price to list price ratios. You're going to see all these trends continue on the upswing, with the one exception of inventory. Maybe we get a slight pop in inventory that matches that interest rate. Now, the other piece that I keep forgetting to mention about this in terms of demand, when we look at how many people are going to be purchasing in the future, is that millennials are now in the widest patch of how many people are going to be purchasing. They take up the biggest piece of the pie in terms of current purchasers. So that is at an all-time largest piece of the population. It's going to outpace the boomers in a sense. So that pent-up group is all going to be pouring into the market. It's going to be very competitive. And so what I want to discuss, and I've hinted at this before, I want to make another video showing the actual opportunity that you could have by purchasing now. Of course, your rates will be a little bit higher. You can always refinance, but your equity appreciation, that chunk of the down payment, because keep in mind, real estate is leveraged. You're only putting a certain piece down and the bank's doing the rest. That chunk of that down payment is going to rise and appreciate faster and bigger than whatever savings you think you're going to have in the future based on monthly. And going back to that monthly payment, yes, that is key. So what you should do is buy what you can afford in today's dollars, and then we can refinance in the future. That's going to be savings that you can then put into, 529 plans, whatever your financial saving goals are in the background, or maybe just the fun plan, have an extra vacation that year. But in today's dollars, we need to be thinking about how our equity grows, solidifying the experience of purchasing without the craziness, because it's pretty competitive now still, but in the future, if rates do come down again, it's going to be even more competitive. So stick around, and I'm planning on making that other video soon. Definitely look out for it. But I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please definitely get in touch with us. And I hope these 5 topics encourage you to maybe get off the sidelines. Again, don't mean to be offensive in that way, but think about it. Maybe now is the right time for you to buy, because you don't want to have that heavy competition in the future. Again, prices are going to probably continue to appreciate in that sense. And if we do get that lowering interest rate, things are going to bump, and it's going to get a little crazy out there. So get in touch with us. Our info is down in the description. We'd love to help you make that easy, stress-free purchase. Once again, I'm Jeff Massey, your local realtor here in the area. Thank you for letting me into your home today, and I hope that together we can help find your next one. In the meantime, we'll see you in the next video.